You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, look, if you can see me on LinkedIn, you can see right here. Look, I voted early. So for those of you that didn't vote yet, I went ahead and voted early. And who I voted for is none of your business. But I will say, from now on, when there's a race and it's two people, I'm going to say which one I'm going to vote for on both sides, right? Like right now, if you're a Republican, I'll vote for this person. And if you're a Democrat, I'll vote for that person. That way we don't get into, the whole privacy thing and who I vote for is my business. And if you don't like it, I don't really care. So, there you go. So I was going through the news and I started to see these stories in the news, and it started a few days ago, and it disturbs me greatly. You ever heard the phrase, you're making all that noise. You ever heard the phrase, fight fire with fire? Right? I mean, we talk about crime, we talk about speeding, we talk about rolling through lights, we talk about traffic, we talk about homicides, we talk about all those things, but how do you stop that? We talked about the police starting the CAT program, Catch Auto Thieves, which is a retread from 10, 15, 20 years ago. We won't talk about the silence of the mayor and where he is and what he's doing. Like, tell people what you're doing. Don't wait till it's done and then later say, hey, this is what I did. Like, that was the question I always ask people. People run for office and we always want to know what they did. And my question has always been, what will we look like when your term is done? And nobody seems to want to answer that. Well, they'll get moving as soon as they get out of this acting phase. Okay, you out the acting phase. You're finishing up. You are actually the elected mayor. What are you doing? Like, tell us what you are doing to fix the city. Don't tell me some retread from another city that another city did and it was a great idea. We'll do it here. And then you look at 6 Milwaukee County women, all killed in a 2-week period, victims of domestic violence. And we know domestic violence drives that type of crime for different reasons, right? The domestic violence piece is domestic violence based on the relationship between the people. Just make sure, just because it's a boy and a girl, or a girl and a girl, or a guy and a guy, make sure you understand what the relationship is before you call it domestic violence when it's not. So that people know, so that men and women, daughters and sons know, this is what happens if you get yourself in a certain predicament or get yourself in a certain situation and something happens. Even if it's disorderly conduct, it's domestic violence. Now, we have to be wary of that because 6 women died. Mothers, daughters, sisters, friends. Now, I don't like to use the phrase all women of color, because if I'm not mistaken, white is a color. But anyway, I digress. And they all died of gunfire. And that's what I don't understand. Where are the riots? Where's the fighting and complaining? Where is the common council? Where is somebody on the police chief's door demanding, right? But here's the kicker. You're talking to the wrong people. You need to be talking to the people of the city of Milwaukee that are allowing this to happen. Train up our children better so this doesn't happen. Otherwise, it's going to keep happening again and again and again. And every time somebody gets upset, every time somebody gets mad, Ninashka Mastre Lazada. Alwia Muhammad Lada, and I'm not going to say her last name because I know I will do it an injustice. Cynthia Walker. Kevin Riles, her daughter, LaDeja Porter. Killed. For what reason? Why? Now, those are the types of crimes that are personal. Those are the types of crimes where if you're not in the house and you're not there at the time, it's really difficult to stop them from happening. And it's unfortunate. And we'll have people coming up with mental health. They'll come up with guns. They'll come up with all sorts of things, not really having the information, but just deciding in their mind, this is why it happened without any information whatsoever. It doesn't matter what you have. It's unfortunate and it should not have happened. But then you have to ask yourself the question, how do you stop it? How do you stop these types of crimes from happening where they're personal, like homicide? And it was a homicide, but it's also domestic violence. How do you stop it? What can you do to stop it? You can't be everywhere. Somebody said it the other day. We need conflict resolution. How do you teach emotional people conflict resolution? How do you teach people with no parameters conflict resolution? Hopefully conflict resolution will keep it, will bring about people working together. I don't know. I know having one solution for a broad problem is not good enough. I said it yesterday. You're going to have to stop relying on the police to be everything or everybody. Heard somebody on Sherwin Hughes' show today talking about they drove around and didn't see a cop for miles and miles and miles. I only see the police maybe twice a day as I drive through the city, maybe twice a day. Maybe. That's it. Think about that. We're at the precipice. This city is going to go up or it's going to go down. The only people that can change that are the citizens that live here. I was going to make a joke. Not Tony from Tulsa. Not, what was his name? Tinker from Casper, Wyoming. It's got to be people in the city of Milwaukee who open their eyes, care for neighbors, build trust with the police. They got to work on that piece. But unfortunately, you got to fight fire with fire. And when it's homicidal violence, nobody wants to say it, but you got to meet violence with violence. I asked the question yesterday, how many people would you sacrifice or kill to save a number? How many people would you sacrifice to kill who died from domestic violence? How much time will the common council and the mayor get up off their behinds and figure out what's going on? I don't expect them to fix it because it's not their job to fix it. It's your job, you and your house, you and your family, to fix it. But facilitate something. But unfortunately, the only way to fix violence is with violence. The only way to fight fire in this instance is to go against the grain, is with fire. And unfortunately, when it comes to the police, it's going to take speed, surprise, and overwhelming violence and action.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.